Good afternoon, I'm Bob. I'm one of the junior members of the sailing instruction team here at Nantwich and Borders, dressed in the traditional garb of the training instructor, and I'm going to introduce you to rigging the Argo boats that we use for training. I'm assuming that you're all beginners, and at the end of this video you'll be able to walk out from the classroom and go and rig your own boats. That's the objective. So, the most important thing to do before we rig a boat is to find a boat. So, over here we have 3 of the training Argos, and today they are lying on remarkably dry ground. Sometimes it's a bit damp. So the first thing to do if you're taking out the boat is to take the cover off, and they've got clips, unclip like this. And there's always more clips than you think when unrigging a boat. There's some Velcro and there's some bungees holding it all together. You can't do too much damage taking these covers off. When we get to this point, I've noticed the boat is tied down with this rope, so I have to find the end of the rope and untie it. We use these ropes at Nantwich and Borders because the wind whips up in winter and summer storms and can turn these boats over. So it's very important to keep them tied down. So here is the end of the line. I'm going to undo it. If you have to tie one of these on, but not to use around there, it's probably a round turn and 2 half hitches. The instructor who takes you for the day might tell you something different. If they do, listen to them. Another clip here. 2 clips on this side. Another bungee to undo. Then it's round to that side to take off the clips that go under the boat. And this is the boom, so called because that's the noise it makes when it hits you round the head. And that will happen to some of you. So we have to undo this, which has been done up by an expert. Now as soon as there's no line holding that boom down, that boom is a potential danger because the wind could catch it. The safest place to stand with respect to the boom is forward of these stays. We're not in a very windy situation at the moment, but just be aware of where the boom is at all times. I'm going to leave the cover here today, and the boat is now ready to take away for rigging. I removed the tyre, put it out of the way. Now, usually this is a 2-man job, but because I eat a lot of spinach, I'm going to attempt it by myself. You need to watch the end of the boat as it comes round, in case it hits another boat. Don't forget that you're now very, very tall. The tree branches are very, very low. So watch where you're dragging the boat. Now when rigging a boat, the boat should be pointed head to wind. So the bow of the boat should be pointing directly into the wind. How do you know where the wind's coming from? Well, a sailor should know at all times, but if the wind's flat in your face, that's where the wind's coming from. If you look up at those birches over there, they're pointing away from where the wind's coming from. And if you look up there on that stick, there's a little arrow that's pointing to where the wind's coming from. So the wind's coming from approximately that way along here. So that's the position you put the boat in prior to doing any rigging. The next thing to do is to go and get the sails. And the sails are kept in the boatswain's shed. Now we need 2 sails. We need a mainsail and a jib for each of the boats. It's a nice long sail in here. That's a main. There's a shorter sail in here. That's probably a jib. If you want to double check, a jib will have ropes tied to it. I shouldn't say ropes because there are no ropes on a dinghy, just lines. We take a mast float and we take a rudder. Now the rudders have names on which match to the names on the boats. Athena. I think it's Athena. When you're doing this, if you're doing it for the first time, please get help and ask advice. Also, if you break anything, please report it. Just check I've got the right rudder. The rudder says Athena here, and the boat says Athena there. Like that. There's a clip here, a sprung clip, that gets compressed when you put this top on, and it means the rudder can't fall out accidentally. While we're down this end of the boat, we've got a number of things that keep water out of the boat. We've got these, 2 of these, and they're there to keep water out while we're sailing along. If we capsize and the boat fills with water, they can be let go of and the boat will empty. They're just held on with this bungee line, and we also have 2 bungs here. I'm just going to put them in because a common error, and if you've been sailing for any length of time, you will do this. You will forget to put the bungs in and your boat will fill up with water. So the first sail to rig up is the jib. Take the jib out. If you're sailing on a lovely windy day like today, be careful this doesn't blow away. We unravel the jib. We find the front of the jib, or the tack as it's commonly called, and I'm going to put it here on this swivel. Before I do that, I'm going to make sure that this swivel is fully wound on. You see this thin line? It goes back here and it pulls out and it can be rolled in. To put the jib on, I want it fully rolled in. So just do a quick sanity check, nice and tight there. Just a bit of a line there for us to pull it, not too much. Always be careful to hold these 2 parts in your hand, don't let them go. If they fall on the grass, they disappear forever. So that goes in the slot. The pin, which I think is called a clevis pin, goes in there, and the split ring secures it. So that's the tack. Okay, so we've got the base of the tack, of the jib secured, and I'm just going to run it through my hand to make sure I've got no twists in it, and this fits onto this halyard in the same way as the bottom part of the sail fitted on. Clevis pin through the gap there. And now the jib is ready to be raised, which I do by putting on the jib halyard, pull it through this cleat. Now this locks off the jib by pushing it towards the mast. That's now locked, that won't come off. If I pull it out, close again. What I'm going to do is to try and put a lot of tension on that by pulling it down and towards the mast. It feels nice and taut now. It's important for that to be taut. The tighter it is, the faster we can sail. So I've now got a big lot of orange line that I need to get rid of. I don't want to be tripping over that and breaking my stupid neck. People will show you different ways of rolling this up. I tend to coil it like that. I'm twisting it a quarter of a turn with my thumb and forefinger as it goes round the loop. When it's all coiled up, I'm just going to wrap the line around it myself just once, tuck it in, and I'm going to pop it down here in this little bag, just so it's kept out of the way. we've got these two lines coming off the back of the sail, the clew of the sail, and these are the jib sheets. When you're on the water, you're going to be controlling the jib by pulling at one or other of these. So we need to set them up through cleats. I'm going to take one. It doesn't really matter which one. It's going to go through here, through the hole at the back, through here, and then I'm going to put a stopper knot in it. Figure of 8 knot, and you'll be shown how to do one of these. Called a figure of 8 because it looks like a number 7. I'm just kidding! So you pull it down to lock it, you pull it up to unlock it, down to lock, up to unlock. First jib sheet. I'm going to take the next one, the free one, do exactly the same around here. Stopper knot. That stops the sheet falling out if you lose control of it. Put a bit of a tail on the end so you can grab it, you don't have to pull on the knot. Just repeat this because it's very important, you'll be doing it a lot. Down to lock it, it can't move, that way. Up to unlock it, it can move. The jib is now rigged, and before I furl it up, there's one important thing I need to do. This line here is a 4-stone, and we only use it on these boats when the boat has no jib on, because it keeps the mast up, and the jib is now doing that job because the jib has a lot of tension on it. This doesn't. So this can be moved out of the way. It can only be moved once the jib is up. Do not move this before you put the jib up. And I'm moving it now before I furl the sail because it will be in my way. Around here. I'm going to put through that loop at the top. I'm going to wrap it round itself a couple of times. And I'm going to put a couple of half hitches on it. Your instructor will tell you the way that they want it rigged, and that's out of the way. And while I'm down here, I've got the jib furler. What it does, the clue's in the question. Just pull it in. It's a bit stiff, so I'm pulling it from that side as well. It furls the jib. The jib is rigged. Just do a final check. Make sure all the lines are free and easy to move. And that's ready to unfurl when we're on the water sailing. Right, the next sail to put on is the mainsail. Now the mainsail will only go up one side of these particular boats because of this, which is called a vang or a ganav, and what it's doing is it's obstructing our access to this groove on one side of the boat. We couldn't put the mainsail up from the other side. So the mainsail, like all sails, has 3 corners on most sails. And now I'm going to take the main halyard off of the boom, and I'm just going to put it out here, out of the way, but I'm going to tie it very loosely on because I don't want it flying out in this wind. It'll be difficult to retrieve. So at the bottom of the sail, I'm going to look for what I call a slug, and that goes in the bottom of the sail, slides backwards on the groove. At the end of the sail we have this whitish line, which is an out haul. It pulls the sail to the back of the boat. The out haul goes through here. I've just been informed by Sean, who's a very wise cameraman indeed, that I was putting the stopper knot, locking it off in the wrong place. I'm going to put it down here in the lower of the 2 grooves.